so many girls hear about sororities, hear about the stereotypes, and think sorority girls are partiers. Period. Put in the mail and send it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They drink.
All right, welcome everybody to Getting Curious with Mitch. I'm your host, Mitch Perry, and this is a show brought to you by the Aggie Radio Podcast Network. And on this show, we talk to people who are passionate about what they do or believe and figure out what makes them tick. Today, I have a really cool guest, Amber Wood, who is the current president of Alpha Chi, and it's Alpha Chi Omega,
yes,
right? Is
indeed.
that the actual name?
Yep.
Cool. And you've been president of that sorority for how long here at Utah State?
This will be the end of my first semester.
Okay.
So I'm pretty new. Yeah.
And you said you're a junior in college, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay. So you've been into this for 6 months or so now, right?
Yes.
And when did you join Alpha Chi?
I joined in the fall semester of 2019, so this is my, if I'm good at math, second year in Alpha Chi.
Okay.
And for my presidency, I have this semester, next semester, and then I can run again if I choose to.
Okay.
But the full term is just the 2 semesters, spring and then fall.
So there's like a term limit.
I mean, you can run again, but normally once you are elected as president, you serve for spring and then fall.
You're
and
right.
then you can run again and not if you choose to. So
Cool.
it's just those 2 that are assured once you're elected.
Okay. That makes sense. And I should say, too, I forgot to say this before. Do you just want to put the mic just a little bit closer?
For sure.
They're just like they're really touchy mics.
Yeah, they're a little janky.
But okay. So, and I'm curious how that election process works, because I know talking with Tanner, who is, he just got released as the president of Sigma Chi. He said that there's not really like a campaign in their fraternity. It's kind of like they just have like a voting meeting on it at one night.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what it's like for you guys. Like, are you like making posters, kind of a campaign, or what does that look like?
There definitely is a campaign process. It's not like presidential or anything.
Sure.
But it is funny. Our campaign and election did happen in November, so it was around the actual presidential election, so it felt a little fun. But
yeah,
our election process lasts 6 weeks. So every Monday we have a chapter meeting at 5:30 where the whole chapter gets together. We do it on Zoom now because of COVID.
Right.
And we go over important things from the week. We go over things that are coming up. We talk about old business, new business, basically updating people in the goings-on of our chapter. And during those chapter meetings at the end, we have elections where we have different positions. Some positions you have to have a speech. Other positions, you just have to put your name in, and then you're elected. But the first week, we have people put their names in, and all of our vice president and executive board positions all have to have a 1-minute speech. So everybody who puts their name in will have to give their 1-minute speech on why they think they should be chosen, why they think they should run. And then the next 6 weeks, we have an election committee who basically is in charge of getting the names together, getting the different votes together, because we will have the next week slate elections where we'll have, depending on how many people we have, we'll have, we'll have the voting process. So sometimes you will vote twice for, as in there's like one election ballot for everybody, another election ballot also for everyone, and you just vote twice, just because we have so many people in the chapter. I mean, right now we have about 100, a little bit more. So
which is a pretty good size sorority, isn't it?
We're small, actually.
Is it?
Oh yeah, there's huge sororities down in the South.
Right.
So we're pretty tiny. So our election process probably is pretty different from the bigger chapters, because technically we're a pretty small chapter. Right. Which, thinking 100 and something girls doesn't seem tiny, but it actually is like small in the realm of Alpha Chi.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about the different sizes and whatnot. But so it's pretty democratic in the way of like.
Totally. It's
Like everyone
6
gets to,
weeks.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then at the end, finally, the last meeting of the 6 weeks, they finally say what your position is, and you won, and then, yeah, you get to celebrate.
Sure.
But, but the last board, they're still in their positions. We'll have a transition meeting, and then there will be the final chapter meeting where the president is put in with a ceremony, and then the new board officially starts. So even after elections, there's still a period of transition. So it's pretty, it is pretty democratic. It's a pretty long process. I mean, it's definitely not like play. It's intense. If you want
It's
to,
for reals.
yeah, if you want to be in the position, you have to, be prepared, and you have to wait, and you have to go through all these different meetings and transitions.
Right.
So, it's not like playing house or playing president.
Totally. Yeah, I never realized that. And that happens, you said, how often again?
So it's every 2 semesters we have to do the voting process again.
Okay.
So
like the start of every school year, basically?
It's kind of weird. So it's offset. So, fall is technically the beginning of the school year, and then spring is the end of the school year.
Yeah.
So for us, we'll have spring semester is when the new board is in. So we'll do our elections at the end of fall semester.
Gotcha.
And then spring semester, the new guys come in, they do their thing.
Right.
And then they're still in for fall semester. At the end of fall semester, the elections happen again, and it's sort of offset like that.
Yeah. So you must have known, like, pretty soon after you joined that you, like, wanted to get into leadership.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I am so ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm very driven, and I've done a lot of leadership stuff in the past, and my mom always makes fun of me because anytime I join, like, a new thing or a new something, I'm always like, how do I get to the top? How do I become a leader? How do I, stake my claim in this space? And I don't know. She makes fun of me, but I'm honestly really honored that they trusted me because it's an election process. They have to choose you.
Yeah.
And they chose me, and so I'm so honored that they chose me for this position because it's a big position and it's a lot of work, and they trusted me, and I don't know. I'm honored about that every day. It just makes my heart
I'm
feel
sure,
warm.
and especially because you said there's over 100 girls in Alpha Chi, which is quite a bit. And I'm curious what that. So you said in the campaign you obviously or like you give like speeches here and there, but what does the other side of the campaign look like? Like, is it just being really involved in activities and like? Like I'd imagine like before that for you to gain trust with these girls, you were just super involved with everything going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting how it works with Alpha Chi. Alpha Chi is a sisterhood, first and foremost.
Yeah.
So leadership is kind of, it's a part of it, but it's not the whole piece. So you can do leadership and you can be in leadership positions, but it's not necessarily about if you've been in charge of this or you've been on this committee. I mean, that helps, and people get to know you because you've been in these positions. They get to trust you. They know your name. But it's not just leadership. It's also like, are you a sister that like loves your other sisters? Do these sisters know you because they trust you with their like friendship and with their affection, and they trust you to uphold all of the things we committed to in our bond? It's leadership is the big half of it, and then sisterhood is the other big half. You really have to, be willing to uphold both sides, be the leader and the sister when, depending on the times.
No, I bet. And I know just talking with Tanner, who was former president of Sigma Chi, he was saying that like he said the thing he likes to say all the time is that the most important position within the fraternity was like just being a brother.
Oh, yeah.
Basically. And I'd imagine that's very similar in a sorority. While it's like leadership is an incredible opportunity to like serve and, make a difference, that like it's just important to like hold your values as a sister, I bet.
Oh, totally. That's a good on Tanner for saying that, because that's totally how it feels. I mean, when we recruit girls, we look at the different characteristics they have, and leadership development is a really, really big part of it. But it's funny, when we go through recruitment, one of the things we say is it's not if you have leadership development, it's not if you have these different characteristics, is if It's if we see you can develop into these, and if you can grow inside of and with Alpha Chi.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know, it's kind of beautiful. So there's a ton of different people I literally never would have met, and a ton of different people who just don't necessarily think they would have ever been in a leadership position in any way, shape, and or form. But, you know, they join Alpha Chi, and suddenly it's a part of their life just because of the nature of Alpha Chi. Leadership's a huge part of it.
And this is something that's been eye-opening to me just talking with you and Tanner the last couple days, because honestly, my perception, I was totally bought into the stereotype of like, so, you know, sorority girls and fraternity boys, they're just like, they joined because they just wanted to be social and party, basically. But, and I'm curious what your thought on this is, because I know Tanner was saying, what he was explaining to me is like a fraternity, their kind of overall goal, like the reason people are putting an effort to like put on activities and work or whatever and do what needs to be done is to basically develop good men.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, what is that similar to the purpose of a sorority as well, or what's kind of like, what are you guys working so hard towards with all these charities and events or parties you put on? Like, what's kind of end of the day big picture, like value proposition?
That's a great question. I think it really all comes down to our motto, which is together let us seek the heights. That's sort of the foundation for all of Alpha Chi, and you ask any Alpha Chi, and that's one of the first things, you know, we'll say is like, what's important to you about Alpha Chi? What is Alpha Chi? It's real strong women, and it's together let us seek the heights. It is all about sisterhood, making you a better woman and a better leader, a better person in every aspect of your life, both social and in your career or in your personal development. It is really just becoming the best version of you, and it is a lot like the fraternity men's goal is we try to be better in every aspect of our lives.
Sure. And so all of it just revolves around that.
Oh, yeah.
What it sounds like.
That's one of the things that really drew me to Alpha Chi in the first place was the sisterhood. I mean, there's a lot of sororities, and a lot of sororities focus on a lot of different things.
Yeah. And
Alpha Chi is just so much about your relationship with your sisters and being better. And that's what I think is so charming about it, is that I have sisters now, you know?
Totally.
Which is so sweet.
And I'm curious, did you know, like, that's what sororities were all about before you joined?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
So what initially attracted you to sororities and eventually Alpha Chi then?
Yeah, so my mom always wanted to see me in a sorority just because she knew more about sororities than I did, just because her friends had been in sororities, her friends' daughters had been in sororities. So she kept pushing me to be in a sorority. She tried to make me join my freshman year, but I didn't want to because my freshman year roommate didn't like sororities. She said they weren't good. You know, she bought into the stereotypes, which nothing on her, nothing to blame her. It's just, that was my perception too. And I was like, okay, that's what sororities are. And so I believed her. And finally, my sophomore year, I was like, I'm kind of lonely. I don't have a ton of friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not as involved as I want to be anymore. So I was just a little bit lost. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll decide to rush because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, it might be a good idea. And I knew a couple Kappa Deltas. And I had learned about, you know, some of the fun stuff like Big Little from a girl in my class who was doing Big Little in our math class. You know, looking for cute shirts that they could wear together. I was like, that looks fun.
Right.
So finally, I decided to rush, and it's so cheesy. It's like a Hallmark movie. The first day I step in there, it was so cute. It was in the TSC ballroom. I walk in there, and there's a ton of other girls just mingling, talking to each other. There's girls from the sorority. They have little tables. Like,
this is like people interested in like rushing.
Oh yeah,
this
was after everyone had like signed up and
to
like, officially
rush. Okay.
had officially decided, and we all like got together and were like, waiting to tour the houses and actually meet the girls.
Mm.
And so we're just talking, getting excited, like, what do you think it's going to be like? Do you think you're going to go for this sorority or this sorority?
Right.
And I think what really sold me on it, like, right off the bat, was these girls were so nice. Even the girls who weren't in the sorority, they were just so nice and just wanted to find friends. Like, that's why we were all there
Right.
in the first place. So I was like, even if I don't join, I mean, all these girls are so nice. Now look at me, you know.
Yeah.
Now all these girls are so nice.
Right.
I was like, this is great. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally down. And then, you know, we go through recruitment, and I was like, this is totally the space for me. Greek life, 100%.
So it was so your need was just kind of like lonely. You're looking for like some more social avenues, like initially, right?
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of what attracted you. And so I would imagine it was probably then. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth,
No,
but
yeah.
what I'm hearing is that you saw how social and like accepting people were there, and you're just like, this is it.
Yeah, it's hard to put because so many girls hear about sororities, you know, hear about the stereotypes, and think sorority girls are partiers. Period. Put in the mail and send it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They drink, they party, they are mean, they're, you know, pretty and blonde and jerks, and that's just what girls think, and I do not blame them for thinking that.
Yeah.
Because on the outside, as someone who's not a member of Greek life, the few times you hear about sororities, it's like they're having this event, you know?
Yeah.
Something fun, like we have Mr. Alpha Chi every year, which is kind of like a pageant for a bunch of different men. It's super fun. We have, you know, pizza pies and Alpha Chis, of course, when COVID's not happening. So you just hear social, and then you see movies and just stereotype them as jerks.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Uh-huh.
So I went into it thinking, you know, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this, but if they say it's social, then I guess it's social. And I was like, I'm not a partier. I don't like to party. I was a little, 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not too crazy. I just want to, like, make some friends and, like, I don't know, go to Chugs or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't hurt me. I'm a baby.
Right.
But I really wasn't expecting the first day I walked in to already find a connection.
Uh-huh.
Because I meet these girls, and they're from all different states, from all different backgrounds. They have all different hair colors, and they look completely different. It's not all one body size. It's not all one eye color. It's not all one race.
Sure.
And I was kind of shocked. I was like, okay, these girls are cool. They're all unique and beautiful and special and have their different wants and needs and different majors. And I was like, already, just came in with these stereotypes, and I was like, okay, weird.
So,
it was so weird.
I'm curious then, though, too. Are there girls that rush who are, like, full on, like, ready to just embrace the stereotype?
Oh, yeah.
And I want to hear it from you. What is the stereotype, do you think? Is it just, like dumb blonde, like Legally Blonde kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, especially with Alpha Chis. We're a very big sorority and a pretty old sorority, too, so we're national. If you've heard of sororities, you've probably heard of Alpha Chi before.
Yeah.
So we're pretty well known if you know anything about Greek life at all, which I didn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, I came in thinking, this is Legally Blonde. All these girls are going to be these, like, dumb, just fashion merchandising, like majors, and they're just going to...
Spending daddy's money.
Exactly. Love fashion, love, like, soap operas and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. I was like, I'm just going to try this out.
Yeah.
And now I look at it, and I'm like, no, it is. It is Legally Blonde. But it's the Legally Blonde that nobody talks about. Elle Woods and her sisters, when you see them interact in the movie, they're best friends. And they drop everything as soon as Elle needs their help. And when she is studying for the LSAT, they are right there training her, making sure she gets it done with so much love and support that she ends up getting like a 175, which on LSAT is like amazing.
Okay.
They love and support her, and she says, I'm going to Harvard. And they say, okay, no questions asked. You can do it because we believe in you. We know who you are. We love you. You can do it. And Legally Blonde is one of my favorite movies. And I want to be Elle Woods with all my heart and soul.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it went from this stereotype of Legally Blonde to, like, the truth of Legally Blonde. And I'm so happy that that's what I get.
So there's the parts of that stereotype that are true, or is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook, you know,
Yeah.
to see all these girls being social, having parties, and being really close, and think, okay, so they're social, no, they're partiers, and they're close, no, they're cliquey, and like they're supportive, no, they're mean, you know, or like exclusive.
Yeah.
So from the outside, I totally get why people think it's stereotypical.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, things aren't always fantastic, and sometimes girls can be mean, and sometimes girls can be cliquey, but that's girls, you know?
This is going to go off on a tangent, but I do want to ask, because you live in the house, right?
Yeah, I do.
How many girls live in there?
Right now,
when you're at capacity? I'd imagine it's a little lower with COVID, but...
Yeah, right now we're at 10, and normally I think we'd be at like 24.
24, okay.
Yeah, a lot of girls.
And what is that like? Because, I mean, I grew up with 3 little sisters, and I just, like... That was crazy, you know, just like fighting over clothes, and someone's in the bathroom too long. Like, like I'm not saying that's a bad thing, like just gender differences, but like I'm just curious, like what is that like with 24 girls in one house?
Oh, well, I mean, I never lived in the house when there were 24 girls.
Okay.
Thank goodness, because I couldn't do that. I mean, I don't have sisters.
Yeah.
So like I don't really know. Like I got these sisters, but I don't have like biological sisters.
So probably always had your own room and like
exactly. Yeah, my own room. No one stole my clothes.
Sure.
You know? My mom's always like, "You're so lucky. You gotta keep all your own shirts." My sister would always steal mine. And in the house, you know, girls always talk about. I hear them say like, "Oh, I miss my roomie." They'll always say like, "Oh, my cute little roomie." And of course, you know, it's a 24 people house. It's double beds in like every single room when there's 24 people.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have like one fridge that has to hold all of our food and whatnot. So it can get cramped, and it's a normal sized house that was just, you know, converted to have more bedrooms.
Yeah.
So I know it can get crowded, and they say like at the end of spring semester, people start getting like a little tense because finals are coming.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not all sunshine and flowers. Not gonna lie, because that wouldn't be true. But, you know, you have siblings.
Yeah.
You fight.
Totally.
And you don't get along, and sometimes you disagree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they'll come and knock on your door and be like, "Do you want to go to Taco Bell?"
Sure.
So it's like, that's kind of the vibe. It's definitely siblings-ish. Like, you'll be so annoyed at someone, and the next day you're like, "Let's go get chugs.
Yeah.
Hang out." So...
No, I could see that, because it's like you're all mature enough, or at least I imagine most of you are, to just like that's just normal being annoyed with someone.
Exactly.
But you still love each other, and you're gonna be homies.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like living in an apartment. English. It's like living in an apartment building.
Yeah.
But you know, you all eat dinner together at the same time, and you all go to events together, the whole 24 of you.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. You get people to choose to be your best person, your best buddy, and then people who you never would have thought you'd be close with or even met, who suddenly you're like, you know, sharing a room with or being friends with, or you'll be in the living room at the same time and you'll start talking. It just, each sets of girls who lives in the house, they always have a connection that's different than all the other sets of girls, because, you know, you shared that space together like siblings.
It's a lot more interaction.
Exactly. Yeah. You're seeing them every single day. Which is, I don't know, it's cute. I think everyone should live in the house. So
I bet that would be a way cool experience.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And with going back to what we were talking about before, you said you joined to kind of fulfill like a social need that you were having, right? But you said your perception was totally different before joining than it was after.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious, what was it that changed? Or what was it that you learned that was so different?
Well, When I went through recruitment, I was super lonely, wanted all those friends and whatnot. And I was also looking for more leadership opportunities because I just like being in charge and having sort of opportunities to help other people and to guide people.
Totally.
And I just didn't feel like I had my space. So I went through and expecting to find like friendship and then maybe like I could be on the executive board. Those were the only thoughts that crossed my mind. And then suddenly I'm sitting there in the living room. I remember vividly the first day because it's each night. I think it's 3 nights or 4 nights. My recruitment team's going to kill me. 3 or 4 nights. And you come in and they tell you their story and then you leave and you go home. And the first night I come in, we're all sitting in the living room, all the girls who are rushing, and there's a whole bunch of girls at the front standing there talking about their experience. And I was just sitting there like this, like, they're so in love with each other. They're all friends, and like they played a video, and when someone would come off screen, they'd be like, "Ooh, that's my girl."
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just like friendship. It was like a whole spirit of connection. Like they all knew something that we didn't, that they wanted us to know. And of course, I find out later that's the bond, that's ritual, that's the thing that makes you an Alpha Chi is that sort of friendship that no one else understands, that's very unique. And all these girls talked about how they came from different places in life, different reasons to join, and found not only what they wanted, but Alpha Chi took what they wanted. It feels magical. It feels like I'm talking about some magic spell.
Yeah.
And turned it into something they never would have expected, which is exactly what happened for me in like such a crazy way. Like my experience after I had finally gone through and like got my big was crazy because my life was insane at that point.
Yeah.
So it was so crazy what Alpha Chi did for me. It 100% changed my life, and I will not doubt or like be hyperbolic. It changed my life 100%.
I can tell just by the way you're saying it, like just tone of voice. I'm like, wow, that definitely did change your life. That's crazy. But you said something that stuck out to me. You said something like ritual. When is that like? Can you explain what you meant by that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, after you go through recruitment,
which is just rush week, or
just
is that it?
Few couple of days, and then you say, I want to be an Alpha Chi. They give you a bid and say, we want you to be an Alpha Chi. You accept the bid, and now you're a new member. Yay! So you have a new member process, which is a few weeks long, where you are sort of on a test run. So you don't have to go to any mandatory events. You don't have to pay the same dues the girls are paying. You have new member dues, but you're not paying the same thing that active members are paying. And it's a trial run for both Alpha Chi and for you to say, if you like us, we want you. If we like you, you want us. And just sort of a mutual testing phase. And after their new member period, there's initiation. After initiation, you're an active. You're a full member of Alpha Chi. Our initiation is a ritual. So it's... I'm like testing the line on how much I can say.
We don't have to go into details because I know just from talking to you and other people, it's almost like a sacred thing, like, and that's why you don't go into specifics on it.
Yeah.
But I think to the people listening, the thing that I learned that's different, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it's not like the hazing that you see on the news or on movies or people dying from alcohol poisoning or something, right?
Exactly.
It's just like a sacred thing that creates some kind of bond between you girls, right?
Oh, totally. I wish I could tell the whole world about what happens during initiation, because I remember standing there while it was all happening, and I just had the biggest smile on my face because I was like, this is crazy. This is beautiful and moving, and it is not in any way a religious ceremony. It's not in any way like supposed to be in tune with any sort of religion, but I personally really felt spiritual during it. I felt some sort of connection to these girls around me, to what we were doing, what we were saying. And, you know, now that I'm president, I get to play a pretty important role in ritual. And, you know, it just, suddenly, I got to feel all of those feelings all over again, and get full body chills during certain parts that are my favorite. And it's, you know, it is kind of similar to, like, my brother. He's a member of the LDS Church.
Sure.
He's been through the temple, you know, he got married in the temple. And I'll tell him a little bit about, like, how Alpha Chi makes me feel, and he's like, you know, that's how the temple makes me feel.
Yeah.
So I don't want to compare it to religion, because it's not a religion, but for me personally, I'm just a very spiritual person.
Sure.
So it's you know, about that connection and that love and that bond, and it's pure and fun and pretty and happy, and, you know, we're not like beating each other up in a back alley or something.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and you know, it grows on me every single time. It's this sort of, I can't say so much, this process that we go through. That's just lovely.
No, and I think that's honestly so cool, because you could say temple ceremonies in the church are a ritual.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I should have looked up the definition of a ritual, but I'd imagine it's something along the lines of, like, making promises, or like in the temple you make covenants, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's totally religious, but I'd imagine it's probably similar to that, in that you come out sisters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. Well, that's really cool, and I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
So I guess as far as Rush Week goes, is that, from talking with Tanner yesterday, I'd imagine, is that pretty, what does that look like from a sorority standpoint?
Yeah.
Because I know in fraternities, it's very much like it almost kind of sounded like a prolonged interview, like a casual interview of, like, hanging out with the guys, and then they just, like, you're being chill, but at the same time they'll ask kind of like probing questions to just, like, see if you're a good fit a little bit. Is that kind of how Rush Week works for you guys too?
I'd say so, but maybe it's just the difference of being girls and boys.
Yeah.
The way we all describe it when, you know, we're preparing and practicing for for recruitment, we always say it's dating. So it's, these girls come in, and we come in, and we're on a blind date. We're meeting for the first time, and we're saying, like, so, do you like this? Do you like that? And you have to say, like, okay, can we see us going on, like, a second date? And then, you know, you schedule a second date, and they come back, and then you learn more about them, and more and more and more, until finally bid day comes, and you're like, I want to be your girlfriend. Okay. And they're like, me too. It's a really fun process, because it's just getting to know these girls. Yeah. I know that sometimes people are afraid, like, it's going to be an interview. Like, my mom said, like, be prepared for them to, like, ask you about your leadership stuff, like have it all in your mind, like, list it all, like, all the things you've done. Yeah. Because the application for recruitment, you have to, like, put in leadership stuff you've done, like your name and your major and all that stuff. So, you know, I can see a lot of girls coming in thinking it's going to be an interview, and they gotta, like, be like that. But the first day I came in, we have bump groups where different girls will talk to different girls. And it'll be actives with these girls who are rushing, and they'll just talk, and then another girl will come in and they'll talk, and it's just a cute little process. We'll introduce them to different things. I was going to say, it sounds like almost kind of structured. Is it like is it kind of like, does it look like a speed dating session? Like you're like switching tables and like like just talking to a bunch of different people, giving like a 60-second pitch a little bit? Totally. Okay. But the thing about it that makes it different from like an interview is, you know, with us, with Alpha Chi, we have things we're looking for, different characteristics, but, you know, we're not going to learn those if we ask you, like, are you a leader? You know, that's like, I'm going to be, I guess. I hope so, but like, I'm 18. I don't know. I just graduated high school. And instead, like, one of the first conversations I had, I was like, I'm in marketing. And she was like, oh, really? Me too. And then we just talked about marketing classes. I was like, have you heard of this minor for marketing? And we just talked about the minor. It's like, it's speed dating. It's making friends, and then
Right.
you'll learn about their characteristics, how they are as a person, just because you're getting to be friends with them. So I was like, oh, dude, that's a cool minor. Like, I should do that. You should do this. You should take this professor. So it's structured in how we talk to the girls so that we can make the best use of our time, because
Yeah.
you know, we don't have a ton of time with them.
Yeah.
And it's pretty snappy. Like, we go fast.
And is that because there's a ton of girls who rush every year, or
There's quite a bit, yeah.
how many do every year?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember when I rushed, oh gosh, I think there was like 35 girls who were new members who had gotten accepted into Alpha Chi. And the thing
That's a ton.
and the thing about like recruitment is normally we try to go half and half with Kappa Delta and Alpha Chi. So if we take about 35, Kappa Delta also takes about 35. So I mean, that tells you like how many girls actually went through. And then of course there's the other girls who decide that they're not going to join. So it's a lot during fall. That was a pretty big group, my birdie class, the people I went through with.
Yeah.
And who knows if we'll see that again, but normally fall recruitment is big, yeah.
And I get the feeling that with like tons of people getting vaccinated and like COVID dying down, that like this fall is going to be like roaring 20s. Like I don't know, I'm just guessing, but like I feel like a lot of people are going to come and like want to get involved, you know?
I hope so. You know, the great thing about Alpha Chi is we are taking really huge precautions. Like, I would say a lot more precautions than a lot of other organizations are.
Yeah.
Like our house is closed. Only the girls who live in the house can even come in the house.
Serious.
Yeah, you have to wear masks in your social areas at all times. And even when you're in a room with another girl, you have to wear a mask. So we're being really cautious. Everything is on Zoom. The in-person things we have, I think we've had one this semester, was a picnic on the quad we just had the other day, I think yesterday, where we, you know, all had masks, had our own food that we had to bring.
Yeah.
So we're being really cautious. So hopefully next semester we'll be able to maybe do some things in person. I do not know if recruitment will be in person, but our hope is that it will be in person.
Oh, I bet.
So bad.
For sure.
Yeah. So we're planning on it, but safety is 100% our priority.
Yeah. So, and I want to go back to recruitment just a little bit, because it sounds like a pretty like, you said like, I don't know the word, like pretty deliberate process of like getting to know these girls. But you also said you're like, it seems pretty accepting of like, you said ages, body types, like ethnicities, like where you're from. So what is it that you guys are looking for? Or what are like, I should ask, like the red flags, like what is it, what are qualities that if a girl has, like you're not interested, or like intentions that they have that just like, okay, you're not a good fit for Alpha Chi?
I mean, I can't say too much because, you know,
give away the cheat sheet.
Yeah, not even like the cheat sheet, just so much as, you know, we don't want to like alienate people.
Yeah.
But we do try to be really cautious if girls come in and they're saying, you know, what do you do for parties? What are your parties? Do you party with the frats? I want to party with the frats. That's why I'm joining. It's like, that's awesome. We love that you want to like be friends with our fraternity men and be really socially involved. But if that's the only reason you want to join Alpha Chi, it's like, look at all of this other stuff that we offer you, that we want to give you, and it's like, just parties, that's not exactly it. And it's like, if you just want to drink, that's all you want to do, like you want just people to drink with, it's like, look at all this stuff we give you, and then you just want to drink.
Yeah.
So it's not so much as your characteristics, because anybody, no matter if you're a drinker and a partier, can be a leader and can like have great character. It's just, it's what you want from us, you know?
Right.
So we're not looking at your characteristics and saying, oh, you are this way, we don't want that. It's what do you want from us? And if it's just that partying, drinking, being unsafe, then we can't give that to you, and we don't think you'd be the perfect fit with us, because anybody can be an Alpha Chi. I mean, it is a privilege to be an Alpha Chi, because, you know, you have to pay and you have to be diligent and you have to, you know, do your best to live our standards every day. So If you don't want the privilege that Alpha Chi gives you, then you shouldn't be an Alpha Chi.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like that process it's not so much about like making sure they have you're recruiting the people with the best resumes,
Yeah.
but it's more so making sure like their intentions are in the right place, or like their
Exactly.
goals are there.
Yeah.
Like if I would imagine if your goal as a sorority is to create these amazing women,
Mm-hmm.
or help women develop, like you got to be recruiting women who want to develop.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It's all about how we see Alpha Chi can help you.
Mm-hmm.
It's what do you want from us? Can we give that to you? Yes, okay. Here's all the other amazing things we can give to you. Now
Sure.
that you are a part of Alpha Chi, look at all these awesome resources. If you're super academically interested, here's all these networking resources. I mean, we have a ton of girls who are like Huntsman scholars, who are super connected with the business
Mm-hmm.
school. Boom, right there. Tons of networking options. It's all about what we can give each other. It's a mutual love and respect and understanding and all that cheesy stuff.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's definitely mutually give and take.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I bet. And I eventually want to ask about kind of like all those benefits that you guys get, because if one thing I've realized, like in college, like luckily like I'm a senior, and
Mm-hmm.
like I was able to network and get a good job for when I graduate, but I've realized like it's almost more important to have these social connections than it is to just like have a stellar resume.
Yeah.
So I do want to jump into that,
Mm-hmm.
but for those that don't know much about sororities, can you explain a little bit the little and big dynamic?
Yes.
Because I feel like that's such a cool thing in the Greek life of
Oh, yeah.
you have someone who's been in it that's helping you along. But
Mm-hmm.
like, can I hear it from you?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
What is that all about?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it. I love
Sure.
my big. So when you are a new member, after you've gotten your bid and we've said, please join us, and you say, yes, of course, we will pair you up with a big. So basically what it is a big is a big sister. That's what it's short for.
Okay.
So they're sort of your mentor. They're the person who helps you understand and navigate Alpha Chi, like after you go through a ritual. If you have questions and like don't understand things, they'll sit down with you and explain it. If you want some Alpha Chi t-shirts, they'll give them to you. Like, it's really just a mentor process. But one of the things that's really cool about it is it's really custom to you. When we're pairing bigs and littles, we have the girls write down all the girls they want in a list of like most want to least want, And we do the same with the bigs. So, and then we'll say, what do you want out of your big little relationship? Do you want to be best friends? Do you want like a mother-daughter dynamic? Do you want just a mentor who will help you with school and all that process?
Yeah.
Do you want like somebody to be pals with and just like maybe grab a coffee once a month?
Sure.
And so you really get to tailor it to what you want. So once you've been paired, the big knows, the little doesn't.
Okay.
So for a week, I love talking about it. For a week, the bigs will give their littles little presents.
Yeah.
Like little baskets of fun little things, and they'll write notes in there that like say, this is who I am, like I like iced coffee and I'm from Texas, kind of deal.
Okay.
Problem is, tip for those who want to rush, they can lie, so that's always fun.
Okay.
If they'll like pretend to be someone else, and then you'll go to big little reveal, oh my gosh, it's not you. But
so where are these notes at? Where do they find them?
they're in their little baskets. So it's for 3 days. I think it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Maybe
Yeah.
a few more. They just have these little baskets that they come to the house and collect. So, since COVID, we have them come into our backyard, take them, and they can like guess who their big is. Then finally, on the last day of the week, is Big Little Reveal. So you'll get a t-shirt that has some cute Alpha Chi little something on it. And ideally your big is wearing a matching one.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll go to Big Little Reveal, and your big will be standing behind a curtain, and we count 3, 2, 1, and then you turn around, they pop out, and we all scream, and we say, yay, you're big and little.
Okay. I've seen that on social media quite a bit.
That's the stuff you've seen.
I was wondering, it's like, what, have you guys not seen each other before? Or like, what is that?
Yeah, that's the kind of reveal process. And then after that, they help through initiation, give initiation presents and whatnot.
Yeah.
But my big shout out to Chloe Miller. She's a queen. I love her to pieces.
Yeah.
When I like put down what I want for big and little, I said I really wanted like someone to go get McDonald's with me at 3 a.m. or like
Sure.
someone who can like be my friend and we can hang out with and just chill together.
Yeah.
And I got Chloe, who I thought was way too cool for me, and I was way too lame to be her little.
Yeah.
And now we're really, really close.
Uh-huh.
And we took this class last semester, which I think made us get like really, really close. So we hang out. We go to McDonald's super late, and I found that relationship with her. And there's other girls too who Chloe's also their big, so they're my twins.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so that's another thing. We have families.
Yeah, I've actually never heard that dynamic. Didn't realize there's more than one.
Yeah. So we have families. So I'm in the Diamond family.
Okay.
So it all started from one girl who had her little, and then like her little, she got another little.
Yeah.
And then this one girl got another little, and then they branched. It's literally just a family tree.
Yeah,
so
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, depending on who you get, that's your family. So we have like Key family, Feather family, Diamond family. Oh gosh, there's so many. Horseshoe family.
Uh-huh.
And it's all just dependent on like who's your big and whatnot. But normally our families will like try to get together for a dinner, or like we'll take pictures together at initiation or a big little reveal.
Yeah.
So, that's the great thing. You can be as close or as distant as you want with your family, or as close or as distant as you want with your big. Your relationship's totally customizable.
Uh-huh.
And my big is the best big on the planet, and I'm definitely not biased at all.
Doesn't sound like it.
No.
No, but and I'm guessing the whole purpose of it is just you have someone that's kind of just has more experience in college life and in Greek life, and can be like your point person for keeping you involved and helping you out, right?
Yeah, you have someone who's there for you.
That's
who's
cool.
just no matter what. And I mean, like my big, we are the same age. We are the same grade. We're the same age, but still, like she was in Alpha Chi for longer, and so I would ask her questions and stuff. And now, like I'm the president, and I don't know. I probably know more about behind the scenes than she does.
Sure.
So it's like, it transitions from that mentor role into like
student becomes a teacher.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, kind of like having your family. Your little clique, your little sisters. Not clique. Not your clique, but like your family, your friends, the people you're closest with. That's why it's like called a family. That's why you're the big sister and the little sister.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious too. Do most of those relationships do most of their bigs and littles get along really well, or are there some that don't work out?
Oh yeah, there's definitely some that don't work out, and sometimes like girls will drop and they'll have a bad relationship with Alpha Chi, or they'll just have a different path in life they want to take, and then their littles will be left behind. So we kind of like adopt littles is what we'll say. So one girl, even though she isn't officially her big, they'll be a part of the family. They're adopted in. Like my, G big was adopted into
What is that? Is that like 3 generations?
Yep, exactly. Okay. So it's my big, and then my G big, and then G,
okay.
G. Yeah, exactly.
G meaning great.
Exactly.
Okay. I get it.
Exactly. So, yeah, we adopt people in. So, of course, sometimes big little relationships don't work, but you'll always find your family. You'll always be adopted by someone. I mean, you're not just floating around in the sea of girls.
Sure. And I think that's just cool that everyone's joining with the attitude of like, we're just going to try and include everyone, and like whoever I get, like I'm just going to help out the best I can. We
try really, really hard to make sure that even if like the girls don't know each other, that they'll get along. Because I mean, sometimes you're paired with someone you don't really know. Like I didn't really know Chloe too well. I'd seen her while I was recruiting and doing Rush. I was like, wow, she's so cool. I think she's awesome. She had no idea who I was. Yeah. She'll lie to you and say that she did. She didn't. And of course now we're friends, but we try really hard to make sure everyone finds their little niche.
Well, it sounds like you guys have way more fun with that process than fraternities do.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that week before, you said like with the notes, that's just to create the hype, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The anticipation of just like, I wonder who it is.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, that's way fun. And I do want to jump into what's the relationship between sororities and fraternities.
Yeah, that's a
What
great question.
what's kind of the dynamic there? Like, is
Mhm.
it more about you guys just coordinate to have fun together, or is it to get more done?
Mhm.
What's the dichotomy there?
So, I don't know if you've heard much about Panhellenic, but
Is that like leadership connectivity between
kinda.
sorority? I don't know. Explain it to me.
No, yeah, I got you. So, Alpha Chi, Kappa Delta, Sigma Chi, all of us, we are Panhellenic sororities and fraternities.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is that we are just a certain kind of fraternity and sorority. I'm pretty sure Panhellenic is the most common or the biggest. Don't
Okay.
quote me on that. But the way we work is we're all under the National Panhellenic Council. So we can work together and do the same things. Like there's another sorority on campus, Theta Nu, who is a multicultural sorority, so they don't work under Panhellenic rules, but still they come to Panhellenic if they want to, which is a meeting we have where we just mingle, talk about events going on.
But just real quickly, because I know at Utah State, the only ones I really know of, to be honest, is you guys and Kappa Delta.
Yeah,
So
there's only 3. So
is
it's
there
us,
only 3?
Kappa Delta,
Okay.
and Theta Nu.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're the only ones there, but Kappa Delta and Alpha Chi, we're the only Panhellenic sororities.
Okay.
And so that gives us more lease to work with fraternities.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're working with fraternities, what it means is we do get together, we organize socials, and we organize to, get stuff done, like you said.
Yeah.
But our main goal in working with fraternity men is to just have that Greek life. You hear Greek life instead of just sorority life, because we're all under the system of Panhellenic. We all have our individual initiation and our rituals. And I don't know what happens in Pi Kappa Alpha's initiation. Like, I don't know what happens during their recruitment.
Yeah.
But we're here to support each other. We're all one big organization. We may be our different chapters, and we may be our different sororities and fraternities, but we're all here under the pretense that we all joined these organizations because we love them and we want to become these better people. So we have social events, and we get together and support each other whenever someone's having an event. Like Sigma Chi will have a fundraising event, and Alpha Chi's are right there,
Yeah.
And if they're having a formal, a lot of the girls who go to the formal are Alpha Chi's.
Okay.
So or Kappa Deltas. So it's just all supporting each other in every avenue, in every single event, in every fundraiser, just because we're all part of the same team, kind of.
That's cool. So I guess by definition, what is Greek life?
Oh.
I'm putting you on the spot, but because
Yeah.
the only thing when I hear Greek life, it's just it's life of being associated or affiliated with a fraternity or sorority.
And that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
One of the things that a lot of people who are in Greek life say is, if you know, you know. That's how a lot of people put it, because, we're all under our different chapters, but we all get the same advantages and the same avenues.
Yeah.
Because we're all interconnected on sort of the same platform. We're all in this country of Greek life, of USU Greek life. And so we all see each other and work together really closely and understand, Sigma Chi has a bond. Fiji has a bond. Alpha Chi has a bond. And we may not be in those same bonds, but we are brought together by the fact that we understand what it means to be in a bond.
Okay.
So it's like siblings supporting each other, We might have our different paths and we might be doing different things, but we always come together and make sure that, we're together and hanging out. It's like Sigma Chi is our brother,
Yeah.
We make sure that we're there for them and we're hanging out. That's why we're brothers and sisters. They're our brothers. They're our fraternity brothers.
Uh-huh.
And we're their fraternity or sorority sisters.
Sure.
So, support.
So to put it in the layman's terms, it's almost like in the LDS Church, it's like Relief Society and Elders Quorum.
Mm-hmm.
You're both all in the plane of the umbrella of being in the church.
Yeah.
But you have your separate things, but then you also collaborate for different things. Right.
That's a good way to put it. I think. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's our own little spaces. We do little different things, but if you're holding this event, we're there for you.
Sure.
We will fundraise. We will support.
Sure.
Always.
So, and I'm curious. I asked Tanner the same question yesterday. How common is it for fraternity boys and sorority girls to be dating?
Ooh, I'd say a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not dating a fraternity man. I'm dating a mechanical engineer from Weber. So, yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell anyone from USU or Greek life that I am, but I am. But definitely, I think it's just because we spend so much time together.
That's what Tanner said too.
Yeah, it's just we're in the same circles, and it's like a lot of the times your friends just happen to be in Greek life because you're always doing events together.
Yeah.
And always seeing them at everything.
Sure.
So it's like, it's just like how people like date in the same ward all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're just together. But I mean, it definitely is common, 100%.
For sure. Which makes sense because you're just seeing each other all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And is it mainly what do you guys feel like you collaborate the most on? Like, is it mainly social events that you guys do, or is it more like, okay, we're doing this like fundraiser, like we need more hands, like can you help out?
I'd say we plan a lot of events together, specifically socials, which is where Alpha Chi and Delta Sig we're having a social together, and so we'll do something fun. I don't know, like we had a bonfire up in the mountains with Fiji. And so it's like, we'll do a fun little thing together. That's the most common, I would say, just because it's easy to plan socials, quick and easy, in the time of not COVID.
Totally.
It's quick and easy. But, like, if someone's doing some sort of fundraiser or whatnot, like, we're always on that. We are always, like, those, I'm sure you see them, those little, like, bubbles that on Instagram stories. Where it's, like, little bubbles, and you have to put your name on it to say, like, you donated.
Yeah.
Always. Greek life will always be clicking on those.
Right.
Yeah, but socials are definitely the most common.
That's way cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess as we're kind of getting towards the end here, what's the benefit post graduation? Because I'd imagine you're an Alpha Chi for life.
Yeah.
But what's kind of the built-in benefits once you graduate and are kind of done with like the college Greek life? What is post-graduation Greek life look like? Or I mean, I know you're not in it, but what do you know about it?
Well, it's really interesting because my advisor, the chapter advisor, she graduated Alpha Chi and completely forgot about it for like 20 years. Just totally spaced about it, and then came back to Alpha Chi through just different sets of circumstances in her life, just leading her back. Yeah. And now she's a chapter advisor. But one of the things I think is so moving whenever she tells it is you have sisters everywhere. And these aren't just sisters as in it's like you're called sisters because you're an Alpha Chi. Sisters. You understand this bond. You understand 4 years of dedicating your life to this standard you're upholding. Yeah. And so it's like there's Facebook groups for sisters. You can be a part of an alumni chapter where you like pay $40 a year to like be in an alumni chapter. And on these Facebook groups you can say like, I'm moving to France and I don't know where to live. And it'll be like 40 million girls being like, I live in France. Do you want to live with me? Or like, do you want to go get coffee? Or do you want a job or something? It's just networking on the level of like, we're already best friends. We are already sisters. Yeah. It's shocking. And like my advisor, Tam, she knows everybody. She knows everybody in the entirety of Alpha Chi. It's frightening, honestly. Like when she goes to convention, which is a annual thing where we have certain leaders from the chapter, each different chapter come together and just like learn, have a conference where we talk, become better leaders. She just knows everyone. She'll meet everyone. She's like, oh, I haven't seen you since we hung out in Cabo last year. Yeah. It's just all these friends that it's so unnatural. It's like you couldn't find these friendships in any other organization because something about being sisters in the bond of Alpha Chi is so strong, and they just know you're a good person. You just know automatically that, like, these people understand you on some fundamental level of like, I was a college kid, and college kids are crazy, and I was an Alpha Chi, and we together, we get that.
Yeah, you know what the attributes you were striving to develop.
Exactly, your standards and all the things that you strive towards.
That's way cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm switching gears here, but I do want to bring this up because I was talking with Tanner after we finished our episode, and I was like, shoot, we should have just talked about this on our show, just because I know he and I were talking, and like stereotypes don't come from nowhere.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right, and there's a reason people perceive Greek life as just like partying.
Yeah.
Right, and he was telling me that like they haven't had issues in a long time in their fraternity, but he said like they do like extensive like what was it, like sexual harassment training.
Oh yes.
And what is it, consent training, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there's like there's rules specific to sororities that are different from fraternities.
Yeah.
Like I think he said that like sororities, and correct me if I'm wrong, are they're not allowed to have parties at their house, but they can party at the fraternity's house, or they can't have guys in their room, but they can be in guys' rooms at the guy's house.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's definitely...
I'm just curious what the different like dichotomies are there.
Yeah, there's definitely different standards when it comes to like the, different things. Like Alpha Chi is dry, 100%. The house is dry. Girls, if you are wearing hard letters, you can't sleep in hard letters. You can't drink in hard letters. You can't work out in hard letters.
What do you mean hard letters?
Hard letters are our letters. Is this
okay?
Right
Yeah.
But when they're stitched on to fabric, so they have to be like sewn on. It's just kind of a tradition. It doesn't really have anything to do like these are technically hard letters because they're like made out of metal. So they're just, it's sort of a respect for the organization you're in, and it's like...
So clothing that has those symbols on it?
Stitched on, and it's like this would technically be like our letters,
Yeah.
So if you see like the words A-C-H-I-O, because we're called A-Chi-O sometimes, because Alpha Chi Omega.
Yeah.
That's not hard letters because that's just a name you can call us. Or like Alphys, also a name you can call us.
Okay.
But the letters, the Greek letters, Alpha, Chi, Omega, those are, very special, represent our organization, represent our standards. And and it's like we can't have boys in our bedroom after, I don't know, because I'm not in normal times, but like after a certain time, every guest in the house has to leave, And we really make sure that it's like, girls understand when you're a part of Alpha Chi, it is a privilege, and there are these standards that come with it. We have educational programming all the time, at least every month, at least. Like coming up this Saturday, we have a educational program where we talk about the different areas of our chapter that need improvement and the strength of our chapter and how we can balance those out by being vulnerable with each other and by being open and honest. And every single year we have to have alcohol training where we talk about how to be safe when drinking, and Alpha Chi does not tolerate underage drinking at all, but it happens.
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure that you're safe, that it's not okay to underage drink, but here are the things you do when your friend is drunk or when you're too drunk, and we just have to make sure that no matter what happens, any sort of risk, that there is a way that you can be safe and sound, because that's our number one concern, is that you're safe and you're knowledgeable about keeping our standards upheld every single day, because you chose these standards to be a part of your life. So you have to make sure that people keep them,
Yeah, no, I bet. And I think that's so awesome that you guys do all that training, because college life parties do happen.
Yeah.
Right? And I think one thing I thought was cool that Tanner was saying is like, because you guys will have like I don't know if you call it closed door parties, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like not anyone can go if you're not in Greek life,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And he said it's like, it's not because we're trying to exclude people, but it's because we don't know if they have that kind of training. And
Yeah,
like, these
exactly.
girls are like our best friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want them getting taken advantage
Mm-hmm.
of. And I'm sure you just want the girls that you're in charge of to be safe
Oh,
as they're having
absolutely.
a good time.
Yeah, before I was chapter president, I was the vice president of risk management.
Mm,
So I've seen, all of the different things that can happen
totally.
from different risks, and especially with the coronavirus,
Yeah,
it's a whole other set of risks and stuff. And
I bet.
so we have to wear masks in any single picture that we post that is an Alpha Chi event. So many people, that doesn't matter. They'll post pictures without masks on, whatever, but we have to have our masks on because, that's just our standard. And it's like, it's not against other people who are posting without masks on.
Sure.
It's because we have these trainings and we know that these are our standards. And just like these closed door parties, we want to make sure that everyone who is understanding of Greek life, who is in Greek life, knows like we're safe.
Yeah.
We're doing these for the reason of keeping our risks at a minimum and our standards as high as possible.
Sure. And I'd imagine having all these girls on the same page
Mm-hmm.
helps a ton with safety because
Mm-hmm.
you can hold each other accountable.
Exactly.
Right.
We have a standards board where people will come in if they have violated different standards, and it's not come in and we're like, you suck, you're out of Alpha Chi. It's come in and it's like, let's talk.
Yeah.
Why did you do this? What was your reasoning? What is there a story we don't know?
Yeah.
And I don't think other people are held accountable like that in their everyday life. I mean, you don't have
Definitely
like
not.
a standards board where people can come in and be like, let's talk about why you did this thing.
Mm.
And I think that's one of the things that makes Alpha Chi so cool, and sorority, Greek life in general, is that you're held accountable for your actions 100%.
Yeah.
And if you don't live up to these standards every day, then, we're going to know and we're going to talk to you. We're not going to like kill you or kick you out of Alpha Chi, but we're going to make sure you understand why you joined.
Sure.
And why these standards are upheld. And so it is the thing, we're all on the same page and everyone's keeping each other accountable.
That's so awesome. That's way cool that you guys can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a benefit that a lot of people don't have. I mean, I feel like I feel that a little bit as a member of the church. There's
Yeah.
a little bit of that same thing, being
Mm-hmm.
surrounded by people who share same standards or
Yeah.
have made same covenants, whatever. But I feel like there's got to be so many people out there who just don't have anything, or
Yeah.
people keeping them safe or looking out for them.
Exactly.
And I think that's so cool. Whether you guys are having fun or just doing, some like really cool service thing
Mm-hmm.
as well. So I guess as some final remarks, I want to ask you this. Is Greek life for everyone?
I wouldn't say so. I really wouldn't.
Why?
One of my best friends in the entire world, she looked at rushing, and after meeting with some Alpha Chis and some Kappa Deltas, just decided it wasn't for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly knew before she went into rushing that it wasn't going to be for her. And it's not because characteristically she is not for Greek life. It's not what it is. It's just not for her needs.
Okay.
She just doesn't need what Greek life can offer her. I mean, at this point where she is in college, she's not super invested in college life where it's like she wants to be at college all the time, doing the college student kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's focused on, finding her job, getting out of college, moving on, and like sort of starting other paths. It's
Right.
not that she couldn't be an Alpha Chi. She could if she really, really wanted to. It just doesn't fit with what she needs. Like, we could give her different things and it would be of her advantage, and she would like it.
Yeah.
But it's just not what she wants at this point of her life, and I just knew it wasn't gonna suit her because she's just not looking for what Alpha Chi can give. And I mean, of course she'd be
Yeah.
bettered by it, but it's just not what she wants.
So it's mainly for people who just want to be like immersed in a hands-on college experience.
I
Is
think
that what you
so.
say it is? Because it sounds like your friend, she works hard
Oh
and
yeah.
like, is ambitious just like you are,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't have as much of an interest in just like Is it like the social investment?
It's not even the social investment. I mean, part of the reason why she was looking is like, she was feeling a little lonely and she wanted some friends.
Yeah.
But what Alpha Chi gives is work.
Mm.
You're not coming in and immediately getting all of this super awesome stuff without having to give your time and your approval and your focus. I mean, you get all this amazing stuff. You get Big Little, you get to be on the composites, and you get to have all these fun events, but you also have to put your time and your money and your focus into it, and she just wasn't ready to give her full focus and full dedication to something when there were parts that she would love. I mean, she's a leader 100% and would have loved leadership and philanthropy.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but it just
you just got to be ready to full send it. To put it in layman's terms, like you can't half send it. You gotta be all in or all out.
Totally, it is really all in. Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Well, I guess for girls who might be interested in rushing, when can they do that or look at going through recruitment?
Yeah, so fall semester, I think we do it really, really, really early. So as soon as fall semester starts, you should follow Alpha Chi on Instagram. We are USUAXO, and follow the Fraternity and Sorority Life page on Instagram, and follow any sorority girls you see on Instagram, and we'll be posting about registration for recruitment as soon as that's open.
Cool.
And then recruitment happens pretty early on in fall, so as soon as registration's open, register, rush, be in Alpha Chi, be in Greek life. It's the best.
Awesome. Well, and any other shout outs you want to give before we end?
Shout out to my mom. She's a queen, and shout out to all of Alpha Chi's in the world and all of our founders down at DePauw University in Indiana. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Well, Amber, thank you so much for coming on. It's honestly been so fun talking to you, and I know I learned a thing or two, and hopefully you guys did as well. So thanks again, everyone. And for those of you watching, if you're watching this, make sure to subscribe to the show on Spotify and other ways to listen while you're on the road. And those just hearing my voice right now, make sure to check us out on YouTube so you can see what Amber looks like as well as myself. So thanks again, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.